So, Neil, you recently wrote a piece for the New York Times entitled The Future Criminal Case Against Donald Trump, and it reads in part, Congress cannot bring criminal charges. The Justice Department must do so. And critics of the department are asking why it does not appear to be investigating these allegations. The hearings point to a potential answer. The committee is laying a foundation upon which prosecutors can build in a subsequent investigation. You go on to write, public hearings serve a subtle function. They permit the minds of the American people to acculturate to the facts and evidence. By laying out the facts that explain what Mr. Trump did, the January 6th hearings can, in advance, help acclimate the public to why the Justice Department has to take criminal action against the former president. The hearings may afford the department a deeper and public explanation of its reasoning than an indictment out of the blue would offer. Public sentiment of this kind could help insulate the department against a claim that it is politically motivated. These hearings may prove to be a bridge between the Justice Department and the public. And Neil, just in terms of your knowledge of the entire presidency that we've analyzed together and the law, does it seem likely that something will come out of the Justice Department pertaining to January 6th?
I do. I think it's unthinkable to not have that happen, particularly in the wake of these hearings. So let's just take today's hearing, for example. Katie and the congressman have been really eloquent in talking about how the hearings will focus on this plot by Trump and this Justice Department lawyer, Jeffrey Clark, to basically, it was a parallel plot basically to the fake electors one, kick up enough dust through Justice Department investigations over the election, and then Pence can call it for Trump on January 6th. That was the plan. And Katie and the congressman have talked about how the hearings will focus on that, but they'll also focus on one other thing, the reaction by the Justice Department officials once they learned of that Donald Trump, Jeffrey Clark plot, because the committee has evidence that the entire mass leadership of the Justice Department was going to resign. The White House counsel's office was going to resign. And can you imagine how bad you must be, just how evil, to get your entire hand-picked Justice Department and White House counsel staff to mass resign? I mean, let's be clear, those folks were not the deep state or anything. They were all Trump's hand-picked people. And even by the bottom feeder standard of the Trump Justice Department, Trump couldn't keep them on board. Why is that important? It's important for many reasons, but if you think about a criminal case and criminal intent, that very fact that Trump was told, look, everyone is going to resign if you push this nonsense, and he still adheres to the nonsense, that is at least willful blindness, if not direct malicious intent. So I think it's very hard for, it'll be obviously a tough prosecution. An attorney general has never indicted a former president before, but the evidence is all there, and the effect on the rule of law, if you don't indict, is dramatic.
It's such a good point. After Bill Barr steps aside, in come the Trump loyalists, and those, as you say, Neil, are the ones who stood up to him in that Oval Office meeting. I'm curious, Neil, what you think of the fraud case or the wire fraud case potentially against Donald Trump and others that we've been hearing out, that's been laid out pretty explicitly in some of these hearings, where they said, hey, we need your money, Trump supporters, because we're going to fight this election. We're going to overturn the election. Send us $20, $100, whatever you can send us, to the tune of $250 million. But it turns out, according to the committee and the evidence that they presented, there was no such organization, and that money went to other places like paying Donald Trump's legal bills. Is that fraud to you? Do you see a case there for DOJ?
Yeah, it doesn't appear to be a hard case. It's Trump University, again, but obviously with much higher stakes. And our friend Barbara McQuaid, an MSNBC analyst, has written a really great piece about this. I will say, however, I have trouble thinking that is where the prosecution alone should be. It can be a charge, but that does not capture at all the gravity of what Donald Trump tried to do to our democracy. Right. Yes, he tried to defraud people, but he also tried to defraud the United States government of a free and fair election and orderly transfer of power. And that's where I think the focus needs to be.
you.